Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And going to Germany.
When are we doing that?
Hopefully next year.
Yeah.
Well, today, since we cannot be at Essen this year, we thought we would share the games we'd be very excited to see if we were at Essen, so we can manifest it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I'm there
games
at the
at
convention.
Essen.
There's thousands of games at
Yeah,
Essen.
so we'll talk about newer games that are going to be there, and games that we haven't necessarily played, I guess is a better way to say it.
Or some releases
or
at Essen.
Yeah, exactly.
Some close to release at Essen. But, we just made a list, and we're going to tell you about it.
I made a list of games that I'm really excited to eventually get.
How did you narrow down your games?
I know what I like, and I looked for it.
How do you know what you like?
Because I have a predetermined notion about myself and the board games I enjoy.
And what are those?
You'll find out when we talk about this list.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pull out my last one.
While he does that, I am going to tell you how I picked my list. My list was very hard to pick because I was very excited about a lot of games.
Ilya loves every game.
That's not true. There's many games I don't love.
Loves most games.
I love the idea of games.
Right.
Like, the execution sometimes is not quite there, but I like the idea of games.
Yes.
But generally, I had a list. I kept narrowing it down, and then in the last moment to make this video not super long, I was just, you know what? These are the games I'm feeling today, and I picked these 7, 8-ish, I think I picked.
I told him he was only allowed to have 5.
I got to 7 or 8, so, what can we do? But without further ado, I guess I can kick things off.
Sure, go wild.
My first game is Woodcraft. I almost said Flamecraft. Woodcraft.
Is this the next game?
Well, Woodcraft is designed by Ross Arnold and Vladimir Suchi, the team from Delicious Games who also designed Underwater Cities.
Which we have not played.
Which we have not played, but I've been really wanting to play because it looks amazing.
Yes.
So in this game, you're essentially building a wood workshop. And you're collecting trees, but you're doing this through dice manipulation. And that is the extent of what I know about this game. But what I've seen about this game and the pictures and the art, I'm very intrigued. I'm very curious. And this would be one of the first games I think I would run up and be like, I need to know what this is. Let me play.
Hey, really?
I think so.
Oh.
I feel like I'm in a stage where dice manipulation is just my thing.
That's fair.
I feel like I'm really drawn to dice lately. There's not been a dice game that I've been like, this is okay. I've been really liking every dice game we've played lately. Except for maybe...
Yeah, let's do that, actually. I have an expansion that I would want to talk about. So I'll talk about... I have 2 expansions on my list. I'll talk about those first.
Okay.
So the first one is Origins Ancient Worlds.
That dice game did not sit with me.
So this is an expansion for Origins First Builder. And it's exactly what Ilya is saying, is it's a city building dice manipulation, or I guess dice placement. They almost act as like your workers, and you have to have them at a certain level to be able to place them into certain areas and be able to utilize the action that they provide. This game is, the mechanisms that are involved with it is it's like an open drafting tile placement game where, you've got to place your workers, which are dice. The expansion adds a whole other board, which brings into wonders. These new building types, and they're called Ancient Wonders. They add a bit of variability to the game, supposedly, and the other thing that ends up happening with this particular expansion is that there is end of round objectives that require you to, right here it says to require you to find the right balance between pursuing achievements required by the current round versus progressing your personal goals that you've set for your entire civilization.
Sounds like something I need to learn. When I played this game, I feel like I had a strategy and it failed miserably, and Tyler doubled my score.
Yeah, I remember that now. I didn't even think about it when I put it on my list. I thought it was a different game that we did this with.
It was. I got wrecked. But I still had fun, so I'm curious to how the expansion will add it. I'll play.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Well, we should just play the other game again.
We should. So. I need a redemption.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna go in complexity order, but I've already broken that because Origins is a 3.3.
Yeah. Complexity.
Should I do my next expansion before you do yours?
Sure.
All right. My next expansion that I want to talk to everybody about, it doesn't actually even need to. I don't even need to tell you about the game. I just have to show you the cover, and everybody should know why I like it. Meadow Downstream, which, if you didn't guess, has an otter on the front.
Is that your favorite animal or something?
Yes. Yeah. So my actual one complaint, my one complaint about a lot of animal games is where are the otters? And like Ark Nova, for example, the first thing I said after you're done playing is like, I didn't see an otter.
Well, good thing.
And they have an expansion, but we're talking about Meadow Downstream,
Good thing you have
which
Meadow.
has otters.
And Keystone now
And
also
Keystone
has
has
otters.
otters,
On the
yes.
cover.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky.
Mm-hmm. I voted for it, I think.
You did?
Yeah, part of the
I think you influenced that vote. You were like, everyone vote for
Everybody
the
vote for the
otter.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Okay, so Meadow Downstream. This expansion is designed by Clemens Kalinke, which is the original designer of the game, and is published by Rebel Studio. The art is done by Carolina Kijak, which is, again, the same artist, I believe. Absolutely stunning artwork. And basically, again, this game is a hand management tableau builder where you're basically drafting in front of the board, or drafting from this public board by using your fence posts to take cards and build upon your little tableau. And you have to have certain requirements to be able to build up and gather more creatures for your meadow. And the expansion is very focused on, as you may have already guessed, aquatic environments, and it adds a bunch of new cards. It allows for this new mechanism that I'm not 100% sure how it works, but it's called kayaking.
I think it's like a canal or something.
Yeah.
It's like an additional board, maybe?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's an additional board, but regardless of how it is, there's a new mechanism that allows you to score points differently, and you get to move down this river in your kayak. So I think that's going to be really fun because, the whole thing is like you can choose to go fast or choose to go slow, and then...
I want to go fast.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that is Meadow, and that is the last expansion I will be talking about.
I knew that would be on your list. It's definitely one of the most beautiful games I think we own.
I actually think it's a fantastic game too. Like
it's so good.
I think it's a really good game.
Such a good game.
This was a no-brainer for me.
No-brainer. Next game I want to talk about is another heavier game, and it's called Revive. Now,
the flower?
It says a flower on the cover.
This is how I remember the games. I don't remember their names, I just remember their covers. So
I want to say it has quite a bit of designers, and I wrote very messy, so apologies if I mispronounce or get your names wrong.
That's why I have them all up on my phone.
That's true. I like the paper. It's designed by Helga Meissner, Eilif Svensson, Anna Wormland, Christian Amundsen Ostby. And it's published by Aporta Games. So this is 5,000 years later. Everything is extinct or just not great.
Okay.
And you're essentially trying to revive civilization.
Right.
And you'll do this by traveling, by getting resources, and really getting yourself back up to speed because, you know what? We just got to revive the universe. We got to put that beautiful flower back on land and have a good time.
Make sure they grow properly.
So the way that I understand this game, and I could be very wrong, I read the brief description, and this is my memory, which is not great. But the way that I understand this is that it's essentially almost like a 4X type of game without the extermination piece. So there's no attacking and there's no like fighting. So it's a 3X game, I guess, because you're exploring and then you're trying to collect resources and do a lot of that kind of aspect.
New category of games. 4X minus X. Not even like 3X games. They should just call them 4X minus X games.
It's like the friendly version.
Yeah.
So I like that because I'm not huge into battling and area like that type of deal. So here I think you're trying to just optimize the resources present on the board and succeed in reviving your generation, being the best in doing so. But what's really cool too is it has a campaign mode. Or it's set out in a campaign that essentially, from my understanding, teaches you the game. So it adds layers through 5 different sessions.
Interesting.
So, And then after those 5 sessions, you can just play the full
You
game
have to
again
play
and
like,
again.
with everybody, the session.
I don't think so. I think it's like a rule teach thing. Like, you know, one tutorial.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That's how I understand it. But I could be wrong. So if anyone knows or has played the game, let me know in the comments down below because I would love to learn more about it. I'm usually not... I love experiencing games the first time. So, like, you'll see a lot of my games is general theme and a little bit of mechanics, but not the intricacies because I love... There's nothing better than that feeling of discovering a game for the first time.
Yeah. But to be fair, some of these games, like, they're being released at Essen. So,
yeah, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
We only know what we know.
Well, I think there's some videos for this one out there. So, like, I didn't watch any of those. But I know that I like the look of it and I like the theme of it, and that's Revive.
Cool. Now on to my real games.
You're not expansions? Expansions are real games. Justice for expansions.
I actually had 5 games that I was like going to say. Ilya said I couldn't mention one of them. Just kidding. We'll talk about it later. And then there's 2, and then I had 2 expansions that were starred.
Okay.
Were starred. So my list was proper.
Sure.
It didn't have 8 games.
Sure. Go for it.
All right. So the first game the first full game, brand new game that I want to talk about is Terra Nova. This is is it like a re-implementation of Terra Mystica?
My understanding
simplified
is like
version.
Terra Mystica light,
Yes.
but it's not that light. It's like
it's still, from what I
like
understand,
a little
it's
light.
pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But Terra Mystica is pretty heavy itself.
Yes.
Anyways, this game they don't actually have a whole lot of information on. At least on BGG. It basically is exactly that, a simplified version of Terra Mystica, where there's like 1 to 4 players that control one of the factions, and they all have different abilities. You compete against each other to explore new territories through what they claim to be peaceful competition. No, they say peaceful competition. You'll make buildings and achieve goals from round to round to score yourself the most points.
Goals.
And control the largest territory to win.
I'm excited about
so
this
I'm
one.
pretty excited about it. I really like Terra Mystica. We don't play it enough, but it's a long game.
It is. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's one of the... I like it because I don't typically love all open information games because there's no hidden information in that game.
True.
You know everything everyone has and everyone can do. And I usually like a little bit of mystery, but I really like Terra Mystica.
Yep. That's really why Terra Nova is on my list. It's because of Terra Mystica.
Nice.
And there we go.
Okay. The next, I'm going to do 2 because they're kind of themed. Is that okay?
Yeah. I did 2 already.
So I am doing a Uwe Rosenberg special.
I know one of them.
So the first one I'm going to talk about is Atiwa.
The fruit bat.
So it's the game with a fruit bat in the front cover.
Yes.
So it's about building a village in Ghana. And I like the theme of it is really cool because essentially, from my understanding, again, if I'm very wrong, this is just embarrassing. But from my understanding is that fruit bats have had a negative connotation. People have hunted them. But in reality, there's a nice symbiotic relationship between the fruit bats and the fruit plants and trees. So essentially...
the environment that they're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they support
I don't know if it's actually for the fruit, but I think it's...
It might be.
They support...
It might be, from my memory, but who knows.
Okay.
I think you're pulling it up, so you can correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to pull it up.
So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to utilize a symbiotic relationship and create the best village by kind of balancing a lot of different aspects. And it's an Uwe Rosenberg. There's worker placement, there's modular kind of buildings, and it's just very exciting. It looks elevated. It looks just... I just want to dive into it right away, right now. But I will have to wait. But I'm very happy to wait because it's a game I know I'm going to really enjoy.
It is very beautiful. I'm excited about the bats. But for some reason, whenever I see the fruit bats, because like Atiwa is the place, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the fruit bats, all I remember is they're like very orange. So they've got like an orange body, and then like everything else is like black. So their like wings are pretty black, their face is really black.
Bats are cool.
I actually think they're pretty cute. People will probably disagree with me on that, but that's besides the point.
I just keep thinking of those like really cute videos of the big bat eyes, and then they eat like they're
huge, and they're like munching on these giant fruit, and it's very cool. Yeah. But yeah, I just picture like a video I remember of I think David Attenborough narrating it, like Planet. Mm-hmm. documentary. That's the word I'm looking for.
Documentary.
Yeah, and he's talking about all these bats and how they're like saving or helping the ecosystem through doing what they do, and part of that was like swooping back and forth and eating the like all the flies, and then also like feeding on the fruit. But then I think it like jumped to another type of bat that like latches onto animals, and that wasn't so pleasant.
I'm sure this was a documentary. This sounds like a horror movie to me.
Could be both. Could be both.
Could be both. Okay, game number 2.
Yeah. Ramble, distraction, next game.
Is Applejack. So this is also Uwe Rosenberg, Lucas Siegmund, and it's published by a new publisher called the Game Builders. And essentially...
Okay. Another tile placement?
This is a tile placement, but I don't think it's like the Sagani, Nova Luna, that type of universe. But I think there's similarities. So you essentially have an orchard, and you're placing a certain amount of tiles to maximize points. Right. And I love games like that. You're drafting tiles, you're creating the best synergies, and I think a lot of those types of games are fairly easy to bring to the table. They're fairly easy to teach, and you want to maximize that scoring opportunity. So I'm a fan. I'm going to be a fan. I'm very excited to play it. And it looked like Lucas Siegmund with the art in this game looks just absolutely gorgeous.
Did he do all the 3 of those?
I don't think he did.
I know he did. I
think he did do all 3 of them.
He did Sagani for sure. I just can't.
I think Nova Luna and Frame.
I would not be surprised.
I'm pretty sure he's done all of them. So I'm excited to like. This is a different style than those 3 games. So I'm super excited.
It sounds like it. Fruit. And it's like moons.
Yeah, Uwe Rosenberg is just moving into the fruit bats and orchards.
That's true.
When I
hear Applejacks, this is probably another ramble, but I think of Cheerios, like the Applejack cereal.
So, you're gonna do this for every one of my games.
Every one of your games.
When I hear this,
yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I think of instead of a board game, and then we'll be good.
I like it.
Good to go. All right, coming in at a weight of 3.15.
What does that mean?
It's a complexity rating.
Yeah, what's the scale?
What is it? It's like medium to medium heavyweight game.
Okay.
More close to medium.
Okay.
That's what that one is. So basically, I have been waiting, and I'm sure many people have been waiting for this game. But Endless Winter Paleo Americans is going to be at Essen, and it is a game that I need to mention.
Have you been waiting? Endlessly?
Endlessly. Ha 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 ha. Alright, this one is designed by Stan Kordonski, and it's published by Fantasia Games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh my gosh, is it... this is showing up... Alright, cutscene. Why is it We're making it worse.
Oh no.
Alright, anyways...
This is why I have my piece of paper.
Yeah. Alrighty, okay. This game is a area majority game, a hand management game with modular boards, end game bonuses, and it falls under a deck building game as well.
Isn't it deck building worker placement?
Essentially, it's mostly deck building, from my understanding. But I have not played it yet, and it looks absolutely amazing. I ended up having to like late pledge this game, but
did you go all in?
I didn't go fully all in, but I got
partially
all of the game stuff. I don't think I did all the upgrades.
It also has the art from the Miko, who does a lot of your favorite games and a lot of the Garfield games, and just a lot of his art style is amazing.
You can very much tell when you look at the cover that it is the Miko. So I am really excited about that. Okay. And basically, what happens in this game, this deck building game, is you take the role of like a tribe that's a nomadic tribe. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be migrating your tribe and settling into new lands to basically build your...
Survive the endless winter.
Exactly.
Is that it?
Well, no.
Okay.
But that's like part of the struggle because it's in like the Ice Age type thing. And yeah. So the reason I'm so excited about this game is because Dune Imperium and Lost Ruins of Arnak. This game had been being, for the longest time, from what I remember, was the third game in this like kind of trifecta that it was kind of being like pulled into these two other games and as like another competitor. And I have been endlessly waiting for this one to come out because I quite enjoyed Dune and Lost Winds of Arnak. So
better be worth it.
I'm really excited. They've
Just
got
kidding. We're very patient, and shipping is a whole situation.
And the thing is too is like they were extremely generous, and they've said it in their they said in their updates. They're extremely generous with like all of their thought processes with what they were going to do with the game, and they wanted to make sure it was right. I think they just ended up like overcommitting, and whatever. That's fine.
Time makes great games.
When I get the game and I play it, I'll be happy.
Will you for sure?
Most likely.
Okay. My next game, I'm going to do a couple. Is that okay? It's another theme.
You have more than...
I do have more. So this is a theme. So this theme is two-player games.
Two-player.
So there's strictly two-player games, and I want to talk about two of them. The first one is Winter. So this game is designed by Maria Blasco Hernandez and Enrique Blasco. It is from De Beer Games. And it's a small box about... It's essentially around pattern building over a big ice field.
Okay.
So it's more of an abstract strategy game. The designers actually won the Cardboard Edison Award in 2021, and Winter kicks off a series of games. So there's gonna be winter, there's gonna be spring, summer, and fall.
Cool.
So it's gonna be like a whole set of games. But I feel like the Veer has been on fire lately. Everything they put out, I've really thoroughly enjoyed, from Luna Capital to Bitoku to Castle Party to Lacrimosa. I can just go on.
Red Cathedral.
Red Cathedral, the expansion. There's just been a lot of really big hits that have really resonated with me. So I have that trust that, you know what, if they're picking these games, and the Cardboard Edison Award is pretty prestigious. There's a lot of entries in that, and the games that come out of that are really good. So I'm excited to see what this one's about. Don't know much other than that, but it sounds very fun, and we're going to play it two players.
And it's just a two-player game?
Just a two-player game.
Cool.
My second two-player game is Beer and Bread.
Beer and Bread.
Yeah. So this one's designed by Scott Alms.
Beer and Brut.
Yes.
Und Brut. Aha, okay.
The German's paying off, ready for Essen.
We're doing Duolingo. But anyways,
that game.
when you told me about Beer and Bread, this is what I thought about.
So this one's published by Deep Print Games.
Did you say Scott Alms?
Scott Alms, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So in this game, there's a lot I love about this game. So first of all, it's that Capstone's also picking this game up, and every two-player game they've picked up has been just phenomenal. Curious Cargo, Watergate,
there's every game from them that is a two-player game I think I enjoyed.
Really, really good. So basically, it's a card-driven game of resource management, but you're trying to build up your beer and bread supply and selling it, and you're competing with the other village, I think, if I remember correctly, and who's trying to do the same. But it has one of my favorite end game mechanics of the resource you sell less of is your final score. So you really have to balance out selling both of them, because if you do bad at bread, oh no, baby, you're in trouble.
I like it already.
So I don't drink, so like the theme of it is like meant to me, but I do love wheat, and beer and bread has wheat, so you know what? I'll take it.
Yes.
So that's my two-player games I'm excited about.
Okay, fair. All right. So I have two more left, and you have two more left now?
Yes. Okay, what's next on your list?
Witchcraft and Wizardry. Mostly just Witchcraft, actually. This game...
Witchcraft and Wizardry, I haven't heard of that game.
It's not called Witchcraft and Wizardry.
But that's what you said it was.
I'm starting with the weight, because that's what I've been doing with these games.
Okay.
Terra Nova didn't have one.
Yeah, because it's not out yet.
Yeah. Okay, so the weight for this game is a 3.35.
What does that mean?
So a medium light.
Medium light?
Medium to medium, medium heavy, sorry.
Okay.
Medium heavy, yeah. Anyways, this game is called Septima, and oh my goodness, was this a game that I just like looked at and backed, did not really think about it, and then after it like got really close to ending, I was like, I probably should actually know what this game is about.
We usually have a conversation of like, should we back this? Are you going to back this? What's going to happen? And with this game, Tyler just showed up. He's like, I'm backing this. I'm like, all right.
I didn't even really look at it, but it's a good thing I did come back to look at it because it actually sounds super, super cool.
Okay.
And basically what this game is it's like a hand management, simultaneous action selection, and variable player powers. So you'll go through the game as a potential successor to what's called the Septima, so like the leader of this coven, and you'll basically be fighting against each other, not like in a aggressive way or anything, but proving your skills as a leader by taking a bunch of different actions around the board, which includes collecting things, brewing potions, healing the town folk, and rescuing your fellow witches that may have potentially been captured by some evil folk.
Evil.
Yes. So you'll go through and do a bunch of these different things, trying to do well in basically all of these things to gain the most points and to prove yourself as a successor, because if you gain the most points, you are the winner.
Yeah. This game looks really cool, really beautiful. I feel like Mindclash never lets...
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just going to say, it's published by Mindclash and the designer is Robin Higidis. I hope I'm saying that right.
This game reminds me of when I took a witchcraft course in my university chemistry degree.
Ah, yes. As an elective.
Yep.
I think I remember you telling me about this.
It was a fun course. I learned about the history of witchcraft.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's got a cool... I'm particularly excited about how you save your witch friends. And then they can like go to different places. Anyways.
I do want to save my witch friends.
It's very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
My next game is Caldera Park.
Caldera Park.
I don't know if you've heard about this one, have you?
I might have witnessed it through
this one is a Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer game.
Cool. Okay.
And it's published also by Different Games.
Wolfgang Kramer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So basically in this game, it has a lot of similarities to Savannah Park. I actually think it's in the same universe. It's the same art style. But I think it is very similar. No, I think it's very similar to Savannah Park, where somebody picks a tile and then everyone implements it. But I'm not sure if it's this like the way that this game is structured in Savannah Park is the same.
Right. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Savannah Park, and if this is a universe of games that are just set in various parks, I'll take it. This one has a bit more greenery in it. It's less deserty, so that's a bonus.
It's in Caldera and not in the Savannah?
No.
Wait,
I don't think I know where Caldera is. Do you?
I don't think Caldera is much of a where.
He googled Caldera and a soccer player showed
Several
up.
Soccer players.
There's a few.
Several soccer players.
That's my pick. I loved, as you can tell, there's a lot of tile placement type games in my list.
Yes.
So
yeah, I was just gonna ask, is this like a tile placement thing? Yes. Okay, Caldera. Yeah. It's like, well, right.
Where is it?
The actual one says it's in. There's a
no, that's a business
this is a business park actually. Never mind. We're just gonna stick with.
We don't know where Caldera is, but this is a good opportunity for us to learn. So we'll look it up and maybe put a little map or something to show you that we did the homework.
If it's like Savannah Park, I'm really excited, and yeah, it could be cool.
Could be cool.
Could be cool.
Next game.
Me turn. This one.
I know very little about this one.
All right, this one comes in at a weight of 3.6.
What does that mean?
So it's actually the heaviest game that I've put on my list,
Okay.
which isn't saying much because
Terra Nova
actually
might be.
I don't think Terra Nova will be heavier than this.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, this one is called Hegemony, and it's Lead Your Class to Victory.
Okay.
For those of you who do not know, I have a degree in math and economics. So, and on top of that, a lot of the board games I like are very econ-driven, resource management, like optimization type things. So, a game that comes out that is specifically about the economics of something and how the certain people will affect certain things, yeah, I'm pretty much sold. So the designers for this one are Vangelis Bargiatakis and Varnavis Timotheo. Yeah, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Anyways, the publishers for this is Hegemonic Project Games. So
sounds like it's self-published.
Yeah, and then a few other ones. So I'm hoping that they're, well, depending on how this game is, that it ends up being like a thing that they go through, and they just keep on making these econ games. Anyways,
getting a little ahead of yourself here,
yeah,
aren't you?
I'm a little excited. So this game, Hegemony, is an asymmetrical, political, economic, card-driven board game for 2 to 4 players.
Okay.
And it essentially puts you in the role as, and I'm going to read this because it's cool. It puts you in the role as the working class, the middle class, the capitalist class, or the state. And each of those classes have unique things and workers that they control to be able to function accordingly.
So what you play as?
So yeah, so
if you play as the middle class.
If you play as the working class, like you control all the workers in the
interesting.
economy. If you play as the capitalists, you control the companies. The middle class is interesting because it combines both the working and the capitalist class. And then of course there's the state, who's just trying to make everybody happy.
Okay.
The neat thing about this game is that it's actually, what they've claimed is that it's heavily based on actual academic principles of social democracy, neoliberalism, and like globalization. So I'm really excited to see how they've like incorporated this into a game to push like an educational boundary. I think that's very exciting. And of course, you can see how, hopefully, how different ways of doing things impact the economy. And yeah, so for educational purposes, I think this game is fantastic, hopefully. And I just think it's a great economic game, and it's it really like pushes my professional boundary, I guess. And so I'm excited for it.
My last game is Maui. It's designed by Frank Critton, Grégoire Larguet, and Sébastien Pachon.
You know what I think about when you say Maui?
What's that?
Lilo and Stitch. Anyways.
You're supposed to do that at the end of the comparison. So this one's from Next Move Games. And it's this beautiful little pattern building game where essentially you have a little beach board and you're just trying to put the towel so they make cool little patterns.
Amazing.
That's all I know about it. I've seen a couple of pictures, but I'm like, I think my theme today is like pattern building and towel placement. And when those things come to me, I just embrace them and say, hello, welcome.
I just came to say
hello.
I feel like your favorite mechanic is tile placement anyways.
I don't think I would have known that until this video. Because I think the more that I've thought about it, I do like dice, I do like worker placement, but I think there's something about placing tiles that just feels so good. So yeah, I'm excited about Maui. I think there's lots of reasons to love it. It's a fairly light game, but you know what? I love light games because it's a great way to introduce all sorts of people into the hobby and then trick them with tricky games later.
Yeah, come play Hegemony with me after we show you Maui.
Exactly.
Perfect.
All right, and that has been the games that we would want to play or get at Essen.
Yeah, the ones that we would be like heading towards. For sure.
But there's a few games we've actually already played.
Yes.
Or have as review copies for earlier that it'd be just a shame if we didn't mention.
That's true, yes.
So we'll do this more rapid fire. We won't go super too in depth because we actually talked a lot about these games in a previous video. So if you want to learn more, feel free to dive in there. But without further ado,
previous videos, we maybe not in the single video.
Yeah, no, it's the last couple of videos we did. So
anyways, go on.
One of them is Fife.
Fife.
So it's from Pegasus Spiel. It's not tokens. Is it tile placement? Does that count? You play things to make goals happen in this beautiful board.
Yes, yeah. It gives me like vibes of actually kind of like Calico, where you've got like 2 tokens and you need to place 1 token before you can get another token. But the cool thing about this is you have like, well, maybe not the cool thing, but like the fun thing about this is that there's a lot of different goals that you can try and get because your board is essentially like every row and every column, and then the top left to the top right, and yeah, the diagonals. That's the word I'm looking for. Those are also goals, but you get to choose which goals they are, and you can
as soon as you place the tile.
Yeah, and you can like kind of plan how you're going to play the rest of your game by the way that you start placing all your tiles. So it's pretty puzzly. It can kind of burn the brain, and then at the very end of it, of course, you may not have gotten all of your goals, so it's a little bit disappointing, but also very frustrating, and
amazing.
Not perfectionism because you can't get them. But
yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Part of the game, yes.
Love like this. I think this game is one of the games that I'll continue to bring out because it's just wonderful.
Yes. Yep.
Next up we have Come Together.
Come Together.
So this is a game around building a music festival from Chili Fox Games. We did a whole video on this, but essentially you're building a music festival. How cool is that?
Yes, yeah.
In like that 70s era, you're inviting a lot of artists. You have meeples that correspond to different music tastes. It's a worker placement with a twist, essentially.
Yes, yeah, very much a worker placement with a twist. I think there's like an activation that occurs that will allow you to take your workers back or like exhaust your workers. And you'll get bonuses for doing them. You've got like to maintain a lot of these different tracks so you can successfully get points and not lose yourself points at the end of the game.
I feel like a lot
going on,
speaking to each other.
Yeah.
This is the game for you.
Yeah, and they definitely end up connecting, which is very, very nice.
The next one on my list is Cat in a Box.
Cat in a Box.
It's a quantum trick-taking game.
It sounds way more complicated than it is.
You have cats. You don't know what suit they are until you play them.
Because that's what Schrodinger's cat is.
But that's not what this game is.
Yeah. Well, Schrodinger's cat is like, it isn't
until it is.
Yeah, it isn't until it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's takes those fun concepts, it makes a fun trick-taking game out of it that'll leave you coming back for more. I've made Tyler play it many, many times.
Too many times. But it's a trick-taking game nonetheless, and I've enjoyed it.
Yes. Now, the other two on our list are Lacrimosa. Mm-hmm. Mozart is dead. You're helping his widow recount the memories and finish his last requiem.
Yes.
So you'll be living a little bit in the past, reliving the memories, while at the same time commissioning a bunch of composers to help finish the last requiem. Yeah, can you do it?
Exactly.
Will you be the most successful? Beautiful, gorgeous game.
Yes. Beautiful, gorgeous game.
And the mechanics? Mwah.
Yeah, it's pretty complex, but at the like bare bones of it, it's like very easy to pick up on, and you just got to learn the strategy.
Love it.
Fun to jump into. That is the
Lacrimosa. And last is the Wolves.
Wolves.
So this is from Panasaurus.
Yep.
It's a bit of an area control through a really cool action system.
It very much is.
It's an area control, but through a cool action system. Mm-hmm. You have these double tiles. They flip like this.
Yeah. First of all, you have you're playing as a wolf that specializes in a specific terrain, and then each of those terrain you will find on the map. But you have these 5 or 6 tiles, I believe it is, that are double-sided and have different types of terrain. You'll always have access to 3 different tiles that have your specialized terrain on it.
Not always, because they can be flipped over.
Well, I mean, like nobody's gonna have 3 of the same tiles.
Oh, one terrain, yeah.
Anyways, that's what I'm trying to say. And basically, you take your actions by flipping these tiles.
Yeah, and you can move. So if you want to go to terrain, you have to flip the tiles, move the terrain, which hides those specific terrain types. So you can't move there again until you flip them back. But you can also recruit the lone wolves. You're essentially trying to area control, build a pack, build your dens, and say that you're the best wolf out there.
Exactly, yes.
Beautiful, stunning game. Gives me vibes of production of Gods Love Dinosaurs kind of deal. It just, I feel like it looks a little bit like it.
It's more complicated than
that, it's definitely more complicated. Yeah. But I love the flipping tiles is a very cool way to do actions.
It's also a really tricky way to do actions. It brought
makes
on
you
some,
think.
it brought on some extra.
Or I just went, I'm like, this is what I can do, so I'm going to do it.
And then you look down, you're like, no, I've lost.
No, I look at my tiles and I say what I can do.
Yeah, and then you won't be, but I mean,
later on.
Turn, it's like, oh, I pooped myself.
Next turn, I create a new plan. I don't think that far ahead.
Nah, that's why I won.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, those are 5 games that we have that we would recommend that you go to and see us in because they're all pretty great.
And of course, with all of that out of the way, do we have any more games you want to talk about?
No.
No. With all that out of the way, we are going to drop down this question of the day. If you are going to Essen, what's the first couple of games that you're going to go see and why? Or if you're not going to Essen, which games are you excited about that maybe are new to your table or new to announcements or new to Kickstarters, anything along those lines? Let us know down in the comments and let us know why.
And if you've been to Essen before, give us your tips. Give us the rundown so we can live through you, but also plan because we might be in attendance next year.
Yeah.
So we want to know the ins and outs and how to tackle the largest board game convention in the world, I believe.
Across the sea.
There's definitely the most games.
Across the ocean.
Across the world.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for watching.
On the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you think the world is flat.
What? No. No. Anyways.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Exactly. Bye.